but for some reason, Mr. Jefferson never passed them on to the clubhouse manager, which is kind of weird. If it was me who was paying for a country club membership, I'd want to make sure I was getting my money's worth. Anyway, a little while later, Rowley told me he wasn't allowed to invite me to his pool anymore, which is fine with me. I'm much happier inside my air-conditioned house, where I don't have to check my soda can for bees every time I go to take a sip. Saturday. Like I said, Mom keeps trying to get me to go to the pool with her and my little brother Manny. But the thing is, my family belongs to the town pool, not the country club. And once you've tasted the country club life, it's hard to go back to being an ordinary Joe at the town pool. Besides, last year I swore to myself that I would never go back to that place again. At the town pool, you have to go through the locker room before you go swimming, and that means walking through the shower area where grown-up men are soaping down right out in the open. Ugh. The first time I walked through the men's locker room at the town pool was one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. I mean, there were ugly dudes everywhere. I'm probably lucky I didn't go blind. Seriously, I don't see why Mom and Dad bothered to try to protect me from horror movies and stuff like that if they're going to expose me to something about 1,000 times worse. I really wish Mom would stop asking me to go to the town pool because every time she does, it puts images in my mind that I've been trying hard to forget. Sunday. Well, now I'm definitely staying indoors for the rest of the summer. Mom had a house meeting last night and said money is tight this year and we can't afford to go to the beach, which means no family holiday. That really stinks. I was actually looking forward to going to the beach this summer. Not because I like the ocean and the sand and all of that, because I don't. I realized a long time ago that all the world's fish and turtles and whales go to the bathroom. Right there in the ocean. And I seem to be the only person who's bothered by this. My brother Roderick likes to tease me because he thinks I'm afraid of the waves. But I'm telling you, that's not it at all. Run, 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 away from waves. Ah! Anyway, I was looking forward to going to the beach because I'm finally tall enough to go on the cranium shaker, which is this really awesome ride that's on the boardwalk. Roderick's been on the cranium shaker at least 100 times, and he says you can't call yourself a man until you ride it. Mom said maybe if we save our pennies, we can go back to the beach next year. Then she said we'd still do a lot of fun stuff as a family, and one day we'll look back on this as the best summer ever. Well, now I only have 2 things to look forward to this summer. One is my birthday, and the other is when the last Little Cutie comic runs in the paper. I don't know if I ever mentioned this before, but Lil Cutie is the worst comic ever. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, here's what ran in the paper today. Little Cutie looking out the window at the rain saying, "Daddy, is rain just God sweating?" But here's the thing. Even though I hate Lil Cutie, I can't stop myself from reading it, and Dad can't either. I guess we just like seeing how bad it is. Me, look at this garbage. Dad, give me that. Little Cutie has been around for at least 30 years, and it's written by this guy named Bob Post. I've heard Lil Cutie is based on Bob's son when he was a little kid. Bob's little kid. If I ate this green bean, would its mommy and daddy be sad? Bob thinks. Ka-ching! But I guess now that the real Little Cutie is all grown up, his dad's having trouble coming up with new material. A couple of weeks ago, the newspaper announced that Bob Post is retiring, and the final Lil Cutie is going to be printed in August. Ever since then, me and Dad have been counting down the days until the last comic runs. When the last